Hey, what's up, everybody? Recently got this trade right here, DC Top Cow crossovers. Not too familiar with the Top Cow universe. I thought this would be a good way to hop into it. That way, I'm also they're also including characters I'm somewhat familiar with, so I think that'll help me ease into it. This includes four stories. It says here, Witchblade. It says Justice League and the Darkness, Superman the Darkness, Batman the Darkness, and Justice League and Cyberforce. So it's four stories that I give each one its own review. Give each one its own review. The first one being The Darkness and Batman. Okay, so this is written by Jeph Loeb and Scott Liddell. I know Jeph Loeb writes a pretty good Batman. The few Jeph Loeb stories I've read are Batman related, so he knows how to work with Batman. And also I have the artist. It says here Marc Silvestri and David Finch. I know Marc Silvestri from his X-Men days and his Wolverine stuff. I enjoy his Wolverine. It's pretty good. Not a great fan of his X-Men, but that was also earlier on in his career. That it still needed to be polished and stuff's a little rough. But anyways, this is a lot further down the road, so the art here is a lot better in my opinion. It's real good. I enjoyed it. And so yeah, let's get to it. All right, so the darkness is this guy named Jackie Estacado. He was an orphan as a child, and he ended up getting raised by this crime family, the Franchettis, I believe they are. So they're moving into Gotham, scoping out the scene, see how it is. And one of the crime bosses, he's kind of like an enforcer. So one of the crime bosses meets Two-Face. This was pretty cool. He meets Two-Face and he's telling how come there's not a lot of organized crime out here, is there? Two-Face tells him, yeah, out here in Gotham, there's just a lot of unorganized crime. So that was crazy. I like that line. And then he starts laughing, and that guy's like, oh shit, like this town is weird. Then you get introduced to a few characters here that all they do is deliver some punchlines. They really add nothing to the story. They're just there because I guess the artist or the writer wanted to include them. Like they just give them a panel or two just so you know they're there, but they're not in the story at all. Which was, it was cool. I enjoyed it. I mean, what they said was interesting. Then the darkness meets Joker, and Joker tells him some joke, right? And the darkness is like, I don't get it. And then Joker says, yeah, that's the point, that it doesn't make sense. And then this guy's just like, man, this guy Joker's an idiot. Like, you know what? This town just keeps getting weirder. Like, what am I doing here? So that was cool. So that's just like a little example where other characters come out just for like minor scenes like that that really don't contribute anything, but they're entertaining nonetheless. Now I'm gonna give a few minor spoilers, nothing major, but some stuff I was gonna point out that has to do with the plot. So if you don't wanna hear this, I'm gonna put an icon on the top, click it to skip this part, skip the spoiler, and get back to the final thoughts. If you don't mind, then stay tuned. Okay, so Batman, he's like at this bar, Bruce Wayne, and so is Jackie Staccato. This is where they meet. It's like a party, a bar, whatever. People are socializing and whatnot. They meet each other, and there's something Batman doesn't quite like about this guy. So he runs his background checks and so forth. He's been in trouble with the law a few times. He follows so Bruce Wayne goes into his Batman mode, follows him as Batman, and the darkness is staccato. He has this like little demons that come out and they help him. This part of his power when he turns into the darkness. So one of these little demons tells him when he's still Jackie Staccato, he tells him, hey, someone's following you, that guy up there on that roof, whatever. So he finds a way to climb that roof where Batman is checking him out from. He goes without Batman seeing where he's at. He's still looking for him, and he just disappears into this room. And then next thing you know, he appears on the roof, right? With a gun to Batman's head. Now, come on now, right? Like, Batman overthinks everything, plans everything for plan A, plan B, plan C, whatever, right? So how is he gonna? He's following him, and how's he gonna lose track of him and just have him appear behind him, right? Come on, Batman's too smart for that shit. That wouldn't go down like that. But you need to give him a reason to bump heads. So that's what it was. So Staccato's telling him, stop following me. I don't need you around. I'll be nosy up in my business. Next time I'll shoot you. He has his gun to his head. and Batman just turns around and bam, just nails him, drops him out cold. He's just asleep. Batman leaves. He's asleep for like a while. Then the little demons are waking him up hours later. So there, that's a wrap already. And later, Bruce Wayne is jogging and Estacado bumps into him there. He wants to talk to Bruce Wayne about something. He doesn't know Bruce Wayne is Batman. He wants to talk to him about something. Bruce Wayne notices his black eye. He knows he's the one that gave it to him, so he asks him, "What happened to your eye?" Staccato, this was funny too. Staccato says, "Oh, you should see the other guy. You see how I left the other guy, right?" So Bruce Wayne gives a smirk because he's Batman and he knows what really happened. He knows he never laid a hand on the other guy. That's what really went down. So that was it. That was round one, I guess. But that wasn't really a fight with the darkness. That was with Staccato. Later on, they end up fighting each other. They fight each other, and now he's fighting them as the darkness. Clearly has all these powers, and Batman operates at night, and at night is when the darkness's powers surface. He can only use them at night, not in the day. So this is a big disadvantage for Batman. He clearly has more powers. He's stronger. Batman's not gonna be he's a regular human. He's not gonna be a match for him. So he has the upper hand, darkness, and he doesn't want to finish him off for some reason. And Batman notices this. He's like, this guy doesn't want to kill me, so there's something up with this. He uses that to his advantage, being as smart as Bruce Wayne is. And the darkness starts saying, you know what, he went back to his crime family, and the boss is like, why don't you finish off the Batman? And this is where the story gets good, because Darkness is not necessarily a good guy. He's more of a villain, but he's not all bad either. He has a lot of shades of gray. A lot of shades of gray, interesting character. Um, so where it gets good here is because he starts telling it's just a guy, but it's a regular guy, he has no superpowers, dressing up in a suit, putting his ass on the line to save people, he just wants to do some good. So the darkness kind of admires that. He's like, I don't know why do I even really want to kill him, like maybe we need someone like that around. So he doesn't want to bother fighting him or beating him because he kind of respects that. And then they're both orphans, and Alfred tells Bruce Wayne like what happened. He says, I don't know, he could have finished me, he didn't. So Alfred's like, and they do a background check on him. He's like, yeah, he was an orphan like you. He goes, he was raised by this crime family, so and so forth and so forth. So he turned out the way he did. And he tells Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you implying here, right? It raises some interesting questions. Like the darkness has his morals are not that different from Bruce Wayne's. You feel me? So he's like, it raises questions like, had he been had a different upbringing and he's applying the same morals that Batman has. They both have the same morals, but they had different upbringings. So he could have ended up being a superhero had he been around the right people. In the same way Batman, had he not had Bruce Wayne, Alfred the butler guiding him down the right path, he would use that anger about all the stuff that happened with his parents and so forth. He could have used that negative energy in a lot different way. He could have turned to crime, done something else. But luckily he had Alfred to guide him. This guy never really had someone to guide him on the right path. So you see, he does bad things, but he's not a bad person, if that makes sense. So that's where the real interesting story is right there. Also, the fact that Darkness is not really a good guy; he's a villain. So Batman's fighting a villain. He's not fighting another good guy from another company, which I liked. I like that part of the story because usually you have two superheroes fight each other, they end in a tie. Nobody wins, nobody loses, and then they team up to go stop a criminal. That doesn't happen here. There's no tie. Somebody wins, somebody loses. Then you have a second round and they fight again. And one is clearly the villain and one is clearly the hero. So there's no let's team up at the end and do this and that. That could never happen because the darkness's motives involve doing crime and stuff like that. And Batman would never team up with him to help him do that. And the darkness will never just go around stopping criminals to be heroic. The darkness slays criminals. He takes out the competition. He chops heads off. You know what I'm saying? All in all, I think this was a pretty good story. I like that they took a different route. There was no team up or anything like that. It was actually just the verses with a winner and loser. That was cool, a little more gutsy because it's gonna alienate fans of one or the other sometimes. Like, no, I like this character. He should have won or he should have won. I like the way everything went down. It was sweet. And the art, the art was on point. I enjoyed it. The panels moved just fine. It was very reminiscent of kind of had Todd McFarlane feel to it, in my opinion. But yeah, as far as crossovers go, this was one of the better ones. I'm gonna have to hit this with like a 8.5 out of 10. It was up there, because a lot of crossovers are not the greatest and they're kind of predictable. You already know what's gonna go down. This was, switched it up a little, and the story was less about them fighting each other and more about other stuff. So yeah, guys, if you like this review, post your comments at the bottom. What did you think? I enjoyed the darkness on this story. So if you're more familiar with the darkness, a good story arc or something, post it down on the bottom as well. If I catch it slipping or whatever, I'll buy it and maybe do a review on it. Check it out. It's a character that definitely looking to buy a trade or two or whatever and see if I like them. And well, that's about all I got for you today. And just check you guys out next time.